What's up, everybody? This is Danny Mathematics again. Today we're going to solve a quadratic function by using the quadratic formula. Once again, we're going to solve a quadratic function, which is a second-degree polynomial, and we're going to do so by using a quadratic function. This is the third example that I'm uploading. I already have 2 examples on my channel, so please be sure to check those 2 examples out. What I have already done, I have already kind of preset everything so the video won't be as long as the first example, so we can go ahead and get started, okay? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to set up the quadratic function, or the second degree polynomial. It takes both names. We want to set it up in standard form where everything that's a part of the function is to the left side and it equals 0. And the reason before that is because we're trying to find out what possible 2 values that x could be in order to make this whole thing equal 0, okay? So that's what we're solving for. We're solving for the 2 values that x can possibly be in order to make this whole thing equal 0, okay? So, and we're gonna do so by utilizing the quadratic formula, okay? So the first thing I want us to do is I want us to create a key, just like the first and second example. All right, and the one thing that I want to always speak on about math is I know a lot of people kind of get bombarded with the numbers with math, and they kind of get overwhelming. One thing about math is it's always the same steps. It doesn't matter what numbers you have. If you're doing the same particular operation, the steps will never change. The only thing that changes is the numbers that you plug into. But other than that, the steps will never change, okay? So let's create a key. All right, if you notice, the variable that is connected or that is attached to x squared is the a variable, right? So in this particular function, the a variable would be 6. So a equals 6. So in my key, I'm going to put a equals 6. All right, plus bx. All right, b represents the coefficient that is attached to x to the first power. In this particular case, it's going to be negative 17, okay? And then also, if there's an operation sign in front of the coefficient, you have to associate that sign with the coefficient, okay? So that is b, okay? And then from the first 2 examples that I've done, you already know that we also have a negative b within the function. So a positive b is a negative 17, then negative b is a positive 17, okay? And then last but not least, we have a plus c, where c represents the constant, and the constant is 12. Plus 12 means a positive 12. So the constant is 12. So c is going to equal 12. All right, that easy. We already have created our key, and we already know what values we're going to plug into the quadratic formula in order for us to find out those 2 possible values x could be in order to make the whole quadratic function equal 0, okay? So now, let's keep going. Now, all we're gonna do is just plug in. All right, solve and simplify, right? We're just gonna plug in our values, solve and simplify, okay? So once again, I still have x equals, all right, the negative b slot, right? The negative b is a positive 17. So in that slot, I'm gonna put positive 17. Plus or minus the square root, right, of b squared. B is a negative 17, right? So where I have b squared, I'm gonna put negative 17, okay? Minus 4 times a times c. Once again, minus 4 times a times c. A is 6. C is 12, okay? All divided by 2 times a, and we already know that a is 6. Simple. Simple. So we're done with the plugging in part, guys. We're done with plugging in. Now all we need to do is solve and simplify, okay? Solve and simplify. So now let's start simplifying this quadratic formula, okay? So once again, I still have a positive 17. Plus or minus the square root of, now, what we need to do is we need to figure out what is 17 squared. Once again, the misconception is whenever there's an exponent of 2, a lot of students think that it's saying negative 17 times 2. No, it's not saying that. It's saying negative 17 times negative 17, okay? So I'm gonna do that with my calculator real quick. Negative 17 times negative 17, or negative 17 squared, is a positive 289. Okay? Minus, right, 4 times 6 times 12. That minus sign becomes the negative sign of 4. So it's negative 4 times 6, which is a negative 24. And then negative 24 times 12 is negative 288. Okay? So all of this equals negative 288. Okay? So it's basically going to be minus 288. Okay? All divided by the 2 times 6, and we already know that 2 times 6 is 12. Okay? We're almost done. So now let's keep simplifying. Once again, everything stays the same besides the stuff that's inside the square root. So once again, I got my plus and minus, so I got 17 plus or minus the square root. All right, 289 minus 288 simply equals 1. Okay? All divided by 12. Okay? Now, we're going to find out the square root of 1. The square root of 1 is 1 because 1 times 1 equals 1, right? So the square root of 1 is 1. So I have 17 plus or minus 1, all divided by 12. Okay? So now we're down to the final step, okay? If you notice, right, we have 2 operation signs. We have a plus sign and a subtraction sign, right? An addition sign and a subtraction sign, meaning that we're going to first do 17 plus 1 divided by 12, and then in the second operation, we're going to do 17 minus 1 divided by 12, okay? So let's do 17 plus 1. So this is the first one. So plus, and then of course the second one, subtract. Okay, and all we're going to do is just fill in 17, 1, 1, and then all over 12. Simple. And that's what X is going to be, these 2 particular values. So 17 plus 1 is 18. So now I have 18 over 12. Okay, and of course, guys, if you simplify that by just dividing by 6, right? 18 divided by 6 is 3, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. So X equals 3 over 2, okay? So that is one of the possible values that we can plug in as X, and it will all equal 0. Okay, let's do the last one. 17 minus 1 is 16. So I have 16 over 12. All right, a common factor between 16 and 12 is 4, so I can divide by 4, top and bottom. 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So it's going to be 4 over 3, okay? So, once again, I'm not going to do it in this particular example, but if you wanted to check, like I did in the last example, if you used to plug one of these, or if not, anyone, or not both, all right, you can plug in 3 over 2, or you can plug in 4 over 3. All right, any one of those you can plug in as X, and as you work it out, it will equal 0, which will let you know that these are the 2 solutions that will satisfy this function equaling 0, okay? So once again, this is example 3. I do have 2 other examples already uploaded on my channel, so please check those out, and I will at least come out with at least 10 more examples of quadratic functions, some a little bit more rigorous than others. Thank you for this opportunity for giving you this game, and I will talk to you next time.